VeChain VET holders are going to be incredibly wealthy in 2024. We see some pretty interesting growth with the price action of VET, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think VeChain is heading. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video update for VeChain, and today we are going to be taking a look at the technical analysis. Here we have VET paired up with USDT. We're on the 1 week Binance chart. Now obviously last week we saw some pretty explosive moves for the price action of VeChain's VET token. Now I am recording this ahead of time. We're recording this on Sunday, and this will go out probably in 3 days time or something to that effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the macro price action here, kind of give my thoughts and kind of projections on where I think VeChain is heading over a longer period of time. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to kind of take into consideration the most recent kind of price action over the last kind of 1 to 2 months in relation to our longer term moving averages. So let's zoom in right here. Right, we can see that we've got this white line. This white line is our 200 exponential moving average. And basically what that's doing is it's showing us the long-term average price of VeChain, right? And we can see that we rallied through it. We were testing this area as support, and we broke out. We broke out massively to the upside. Okay, now this is nearing its end structure, in my opinion, and we will be looking for retracement to the downside. And that retracement is going to be a huge opportunity ahead of what happens next. Now we can see the red line here. This is the 50 exponential moving average. The yellow line is the 50 simple moving average. Now you can see that there's a little bit of a tilt to the upside on the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA, and when they do cross above the 200 EMA, that's going to be known as a golden cross. The golden cross, particularly with the yellow line crossing the white line. That's a little bit of a way out, but when that does happen, we will see a significant surge to the upside, typically on the golden cross scenario of a macro view, such as this weekly time frame. So we will be looking for retracement. We'll be looking for the 200 EMA to gradually move down a little bit, because it's going to have to take into consideration everything that's already happened. And then, of course, our smaller time frame will start to move on up to take into consideration everything that we see over this side as well. And it's only just starting to tilt up here. So the golden cross will occur probably over the next kind of 1 month or so, maybe a little bit less than that. And then we'll see from there what the price action does. Now, as I kind of zoom back out of here, we can obviously take into consideration that VeChain had kind of moved down quite aggressively. We initially thought that things were going to move down a little bit more into a new low for VeChain. That does not look like it's going to happen now, meaning that our 1.318 cent is the low for VET. Okay, now it's possible that this is a part of a regular flat correction which catches everyone off guard, which basically would allow for this move to the upside to complete and then drop down into a new low. It's always a possibility, but not one that I can say has a high probability of playing out. But it's be mindful that it's still possible that we do that. But for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to use that low of 1.318 cent as the bear market low point. That's going to give us our anchor so that we can kind of try to predict out how high the VeChain price action could go, because it's that price action that's going to make all of those VET holders incredibly wealthy. Now, in our previous bullish market, we saw a very good growth to the upside for VeChain's VET token. The percentages here were 17,780%. A lot of people were complaining as well during the previous kind of bullish market about how this coin was a China coin, didn't do anything. And we can see here that actually all of that was absolute bullshit, because we still achieved 17,780%, even though all of the FUD that was circulating around at the time. Now, obviously, VeChain, for those who do not know, is actually based in Ireland. It is not a China coin. It's actually doing a lot more work around Europe and in the States than it does around China and so forth. That's not to say that there is not an affiliation there, because they do work globally around around China, around many other parts around the world, not just in China or in Europe or in the States, right? It's a global enterprise level blockchain. So Are we likely to see, 17,000% repeat itself? I think it's going to be a very tall order to see 17,000 come in here and take the price action up there. But it is a possibility that we need to be mindful of. I think for the most part, we are all going to be eager-eyed on new all-time highs. The previous all-time high coming in at 27.98 cent. And anything above and beyond this is going to be incredibly good. Now, obviously, we were quite big advocates for trying to target out that $1 level for Vechain in the previous bullish market. Something to that effect would actually put us a pretty reasonable 7,400% in gains. I think that is something that we could potentially actually see. There's a lot of things happening in the world of Vechain, so one to keep a close eye on all the fundamentals just in case anything shifts and changes. But for the most part, I do see I do see Vechain here and Cardano performing in very, very well in 2024. Both are very comparable with their percentage gains. So for Vechain here, I think with everything that's happening development-wise, I can see that there's going to be a big push for Vechain in terms of development and, of course, for getting more people interested and invested in the VET token. Now, like everything, it all comes down to supply and demand. There is a significant supply of VET tokens out there, and we want to see the supply shrink whilst the demand grows. So the more development that we see on the chain is going to basically encourage more people to be buying the token. More people buying the token means there's going to be less available for purchase over time. The less that's available for purchase over time is going to basically shrink the supply. Supply shrinking, demand growing is exactly what we're looking for, because that recipe is going to be what takes us up higher. Now, we can see great growth at the moment, but I do expect us to see even more going further forward as well. So 17,000 might be a little bit of a stretch. That kind of target would be approximately $2.36. I think for the most part, we really want to see new all-time highs. We want to see how price reacts to some of the key Fibonacci levels. Let's go ahead and take a look at where things currently stand when we actually just run the fibs on here. You can see that our first kind of major Fibonacci extension based on our kind of retrace or our move to the upside during 2021 is at 95 cents. Very close to that $1 level. Okay, that's an interesting kind of fib level to kind of keep an eye on. Now, if we run this through the retracement, well, we can see here that 57 cents becomes the 1.618. Okay, and again, this is going to be another key area for focus for new all-time highs, with the 1.382 really coming in at around 89 cents or 90 cents to be close to, and it gets close to that $1 level. The $1, of course, is going to be a kind of massive selling pressure just from a psychological point of view, but 57 cents is going to be the first place I do expect us to kind of find some form of heavy resistance. So keeping a close eye on that. But that would still show some really good, really juicy gains for the price action of Vechain, around 4,252% from the 1.318 cent lows. So I think Vechain is very well positioned. I think we're going to see some really good growth in 2024, and everyone who has been dollar cost averaging Vechain's VET token during late 2023, early 2024, I think are going to be in for some very, very juicy gains. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And why don't you check out this video right here where I'm discussing what is going on with Cardano's price action and where I think that one could be heading as well.